Phil Bentham is the big match referee, and they don't come any bigger than this in this part of the world. The supporters of Hull KR and Hull, St Helens and Wigan, even Wakefield and Castleford might argue, but there are people who think that this is the ultimate Super League derby. They certainly usually set the marker for what's to come, and let's hope they do as Kevin Sinfield gets this game underway.
And what a key player Kevin Sinfield will play tonight. They certainly have missed him, the Rhinos. His kicking ability, only just one facet of the Leeds outfit. But Bradford, they will not be easy. They really will want to try to get the forward power, get over the advantage, give a platform for the likes of Paul Sykes and Matt Orford, who will be both halfbacks tonight. Interesting to see whether Steve McNamara perhaps will switch Brett Carney, the man that normally takes the standoff. He's at full back. It wouldn't surprise me if they interchange, especially throughout the first half.
The kick from Heath Lestrange is deep, and Brent Webb just allowed that ball to dribble its way past him. It's a good chase from the Bradford Bulls early on here. Michael Platt leading the way and bringing the Leeds full-back to the ground. The last meeting at Headingley last June, there were 18,000 here to see Leeds win 33-20. There wasn't a TV camera in sight, and Steve McNamara wished that there had been, because he was convinced a Ricky Sharif try should have been given in the 76th minute when Leeds were ahead by 26-22. But they weren't here, we weren't here, and Leeds prevailed. It's Ian Kirk on the ball for the Rhinos.
Pretty solid defence though by the Bulls. They really know that the opening 10 minutes they can lay down the marker. They've got to try to control the game. Good kick and chase, they put Burrow under pressure.
And the ball standing up nicely for Dave Halley. Carney was on his outside, but he took the tackle instead from Jamie Jones-Buchanan. There is Orford at dummy half, and here now is Stuart Reardon, who faced Leeds in the grand final for the Bradford Bulls. He's now back following 2 years at Warrington. And this is Steve Menzies.
That's one of the tactics that Steve McNamara, the Bradford coach, will utilise against Leeds, the short blind side. You could see that the big fella, Steve Menzies, wanting the ball. There's nothing better. That's a good opportunity. They've got the overlap.
Oh, and it's a great pass over the shoulder by Whitehead. And he finds Chris Nero, and he is grounded by the tackle from Kevin Sinfield. Little interference there as he tried to play the ball quickly. It's a penalty to Bradford. I spoke to Steve McNamara yesterday. He said his players and he himself looking forward to this.
Good refereeing. Phil Bentham laid down the marker. I will not mess around. We've come here to watch a brilliant game, and so it should be. But that was pretty nifty work by the Bulls. Getting the ball out wide, they caught that lead sliding defence slightly there.
This is Andy Lynch, and he gets the ball out the back, and it comes eventually to Paul Sykes. He pops it up to Langley. There was space ahead of Langley, went straight at Brent Webb, and it needed a tackle from Webb and Diskin to bring him down. Lestrange is a dummy half. He fires the pass to Orford. Orford then short ball. Nero! Nero with a try for Bradford. Bradford Bulls get the first points of the ball. Looking forward to it, he said, and no wonder. Nero with a try. 24th consecutive appearance for this fellow. Third season at Bradford, having left Huddersfield at the end of 2007. And the man who got 2 tries for Huddersfield in the 2006 Challenge Cup semi-final win against Leeds has struck the early blow for the Bulls.
Tremendous work. They got him on the outside. They got the penalty. Sinfield holding down from this position. It was built up there by Jamie Langley, and then the offload, and the big fella Nero in the centre says thank you very much indeed. Beautiful time pass by Matt Orford, but that's the way to come onto a rugby league football. At the precise moment, there was no chance for the Leeds defence. They were all off balance, quick play the ball, but the build-up by Jamie Langley was nothing short of superb.
First try of the season for Chris Nero, and a timely first try of the season. It silenced the vast majority of this crowd inside Headingley, not the Bradford fans behind the post away to our left. And Matt Orford now with the opportunity to add the extras. This should be 6-0 to the Bulls, and it is. Great start for Bradford.
Super stuff. And you can see Delaney's just looking out. That's enough. Come on the angle. Thank you very much indeed. were both off balance, and Nero in for the first try. Boy, hasn't that set it up.
Dream start for Bradford.
You can tell when a team are up for a match from the very kick-off. The first set that Bradford had possession, Andy Lynch carried the ball and made 5 or 10 metres with 3 defenders on his back. You know, him and Scruton have to set the platform for the Bulls, who go into this clearly as the underdogs, but with something to prove.
It's Nick Scruton who's on the ball, a former Leeds Rhino, making his 50th appearance for the Bradford club tonight. And that's really the reason why he left Leeds. He was seen mainly as a substitute here, but he's a frontline prop forward for the Bradford Bulls.
Well, the Bulls not frightened, Eddie, to give this ball plenty of air. They're going out wide. Oh, he did well to keep hold of that.
Yes, he did. It was Carney. And here is Andy Lynch now, the Bradford skipper. He is leading by example as captain this year. It's the last tackle here, though, for Bradford. And what's the kick like from Sykes? Will he go for a 40-20? No, he's gone more down the middle of the ground. And it bounces into the arms of Brent Webb. And he gives it to Lee Smith. First touch for Lee Smith. He was only signed yesterday from London Wasps, back in Rugby League, back in the Super League, and back with the Rhinos.
And I think you'll be saying thank goodness for that, though it was a pretty good reception, that silly play. Just over enthusiastic, had to play the ball, and they know it. They've given away many, many metres forward. You just can't keep pushing over like that. And Scruton, much to the chagrin of Phil Bentham, the official tonight, but the ability for the Bulls to keep this ball out wide, and they're going at Leeds on that right-hand defensive pattern. They obviously feel there's a bit of a problem with Brett Delaney in defence.
This is Matt Diskin, preferred in the starting lineup, of course, from Danny Badiris, the Australian former international who's on the bench. Here is Kylie Luluai, who had his birthday on Monday. He's now 32, and he makes a timely return to the side with Jamie Peacock out. And this is Webb, who's chimed into the line. Good tackle by Menzies.
Nice to see as well, Webb. He's taken a while to get back in after that injury.
This is Maguire, fires it wide, and Delaney is clobbered by Reardon. Maguire.
Pretty high as well.
And the referee called on Stuart Reardon. He was not standing square at the play of the ball. He called him twice, told him not to get involved. He did, and the penalty's forthcoming to Leeds.
Well, he took one side and then went to the left.
Here goes Bailey then for the Leeds Rhinos. Clear to play after having a date with the disciplinary committee this week. Just fined, no suspension. It's Webb for Leeds, running laterally, then flicks it back to Ian Kirk.
Robbie Burrows looking for an inside runner here, perhaps. He's got Luluai outside.
Here is Burrow, and he gives it to Luluai. And offside against Bradford, even though Luluai lost the ball.
Golden opportunity as well, because Luluai, if he'd have taken that, he'd gone straight through. He came on the angle, and I reckon he would have pile-drived underneath the sticks.
Webb gives it to Jamie Jones-Buchanan, left thigh heavily strapped. That's how close Leeds Rhinos are. It's Burrow, they've shot out the line quickly, they find Sinfield, short pass to Kirk, and Kirk under pressure puts it down. Here goes Carney, and that's a penalty against Kylie Luluai and Ryan Bailey for the high shot.
Well, that's the reason why Steve McNamara, the Bradford coach, has dropped Brett Carney down to the full-back position, because he knows he's got the ability, he's got great speed, very agile indeed.
Bailey conceding the penalty. It was a high shot. His tackle on Stuart Fielden last week resulted in the £300 fine. So Bradford have the ball back, and they lead by 6 points to 0 after the opening 9 minutes here. Heath Lestrange waits, and he'll give it then to Matt Orford. And Orford looks really, really up for this. 2 years ago, he won the Dally M, the Player of the Year award in the NRL, and he's got the penalty here from Phil Bentham.
And it had to be as well. Luluai all over the place, not allowing Orford any chance to get up. That's the second silly penalty given away. Remember, Kevin Sinfield did one, and they came up trumps with a try for Nero. They're up for this to the Bulls. They really are buzzing.
It's Orford again, and here is Scruton. and he goes down under the challenge of 3 players. The referee, Phil Bentham, shouts at Leeds to move. They do. Heath Lestrange gets the ball away to Whitehead. Desperate tackle, low down that was, and it had to be as well. Now it's Lynch. Great pass off the ground, finds Sykes. Sykes gives it to Langley again. Langley running at Webb strongly. They can't hold Langley at the moment. He'll get up and play the ball, and they'll give it to Orford. And back it comes to Sykes, and over the top it goes, and Halley will jink his way over. Second Bradford try. Tremendous start this from the Bradford Bulls. Champions rocking on the ropes here. We've got Hay and Ruiz tomorrow for the World Heavyweight Championship, and the champions of Super League are struggling in the opening 10 minutes of this heavyweight clash at Headingley.
It's been a whirlwind start, and again, it was that man Langley that got them in a position. What about the overhead pass there? Was absolutely sensational. They move in, and Sykes got right over the top, and what about the step off the right boot? Oh, Ryan Hall, he's left in no man's land. It looks as though he's got away with it, and they were very slow to fill in. How close to the touchline? Oh, look at that, an inch, if that. Look at the concentration on the touch judge on this side as well. Well, we mentioned that the Bulls had to get up to a flying start. They had to put down the gauntlet. Boy, they've got the sword out, they give it in heaps.
Well, it's taken the prospect of a local derby and almost 10 matches for Bradford to find their timing and execution in their attacking plays. Earlier in the season, had players overrunning the ball, some players bumping into their own attackers, but now they've started to find some cohesion and some unity, and the timing of their attack out wide is excellent.
Well, the second phase running on this, and look how close, but look at the touch judge. That's what we like to see. Oh, look at that. Talk about camera work. You can count the studs. Marks, that is.
Leeds restart, trailing by 10 points to 0 in 12 minutes of this match at Headingley. Nick Scruton with the drive forward. Well, Leeds beginning the match outside the top 8, and the way Bradford are playing, they're going to stay there.
And they can only have themselves to blame in the fact that they're giving away silly penalties and have allowed Bradford to gain the superiority over this Rhino side, who must be thinking, what on earth can we do? Basically, they've got to get back and just take it nice and steady. Good solid defence. A few of them are coming out of the line. You could see there that Ryan Hall, he got confused. Lack of communication with his centre partner.
Orford again with the kick. Good kick too. Splits the defenders, Smith and Webb. Bounces for Lee Smith. Lee Smith back in the Leeds colours. His last appearance was, of course, in the grand final, the end of last season.
That's 3 times now that Bradford have kicked again territory. On every one occasion, they've managed to get the ball to sit just short of the try line, and they're camping their opponents down there. They're making them come from deep. There has to be a positive aspect in which Bradford have improved in some games we've seen this year.
Well, Bradford were less than emphatic in seeing off Harlequins last Friday. 19-12 it was, but it was their first win in 3 games, and it sets them up nicely for this against the Leeds Rhinos. And I think this is a faulty play, the ball.
It is by Bailey. It's going from bad to worse. Played it forward, not allowed to do that anymore.
At least it caught his foot, but it went the wrong way.
Yeah, and I did look. I know people complain about it, but this Leeds outfit, they've got to start again. Just say, calm it down. They're panicking. They wanted to do everything at 100 miles an hour.
Sykes, good ball, and it was a flat ball as well. Nero on it for the Bradford Bulls, disappears under the challenge of Delaney and also Maguire. Here is Andy Lynch, bounces off one tackle, gets the pass away. Oh, and well claimed there by Diskin off Heath Lestrange, one-on-one, a ball steal.
Boy, did they need that. They really needed something to lift their spirits. Now, this is where they roll. This is a steal by Diskin. Great work. This is where the big fellas come in. Must get over the advantage line. Great work from that fella, Matt Diskin, in his testimonial year.
Yes, Diskin is never present in the side. This is his 6th start. And Sinfield bounces off one and then just hands it on the plate to Burrow. And Burrow looks for the runners inside him. And Brent Webb puts it down again. Great pressure from Bradford.
Certainly was. Elliot Whitehead, the second rower. He sensed it. Bang, come to daddy. Boom.
Growing in confidence, Elliot Whitehead, isn't he? There's Brent Webb, who dropped the pass. Elliot Whitehead, just 20 years of age, a former electrician. He quit his job to sign a 2-year deal with the Bradford Bulls. Second rower, and well, a great future if what we've seen this season is anything to go by. Here's Sykes. He looks full of it as well.
And I mentioned before the game started, you know, Paul Sykes, when they're switching from centre to play in the standoff position, he seems to revel in it. He seems to love it. Takes them on. He's got more opportunity. He's a bustling type of player. He wants to be in the action all the time. And when at number 6, he'll get plenty of opportunity. Oh, Lynch, get out of the way.
Great barging, barnstorming run from Lynch. And Bradford Bulls supporters will remember that when Paul Sykes moved to stand off at the back end of last season, Bradford had their run that almost took them to the playoffs. Here is Langley.
He's a man that Leeds have to stop. It was his 2 charges that got them in a position to score those first 2 tries. That's a great kick as well.
It's a great kick, well picked up though by Ryan Hall. He can't get away from those 3 chases though.
Did well stay in the field of play. Now this is where the pressure. Burrow again, it's 100 mile an hour. Just calm it, fellas. This is where Jamie Jones-Buchanan, go on your own, don't pass. Oh.
Well, they're passing the ball in front of their own post. This is Keith Senior, captain against Wigan last Friday. He hasn't scored here against the Bradford Bulls for 5 years. Keith Senior. And Ian Kirk will get to his feet and play it to Diskin. Diskin then finds Sinfield. Lestrange was on him in a flash. That's the last tackle. Great set of 6 from Bradford here. And it's with Burrow now, and he'll hammer it downfield, trying to get it over the head of Carney, but failing. And Carney then gives it to Dave Halley.
And just look where they'll be playing the first play the ball. Nearly on the halfway line. That's how constructive Bradford's defence have been. They've been getting into the ribs. They really have been banging them down. They're controlling this game.
Orford gets it wide to Michael Platt. That's good defence from Hall and from Senior. And also from Rob Burrow. Orford, Langley now.
Listen, when you see the skill and style of Matt Orford jumping in at the dummy half position, and he's done that quite a few times so far in the opening 17 minutes, it means that he wants to control it. He wants to look after everything out there. Such a talented player, former Manly Warringah.
It's been an outstanding start to the game from Bradford. I can't really remember a single error, and that's a towering kick from Sykes. And he did well, Brent Webb. He is one of the best in the world, and he begins the Leeds counter. But they harass him to the ground quickly. Heath Lestrange and Jamie Langley there. Now it's Senior. He'll run strongly, but he's brought down again. But they're offside, Bradford.
Just overstepped the mark. Phil Bentham was screaming at them to come back to 10. Couple didn't. They paid the price.
Well, the first signs of fatigue for Bradford, Eddie. They've given it everything they've got for 18 minutes. But when that kick went high to Brent Webb, none of the players in the middle had enough energy to firstly get up on Webb or close down the space, and they showed the Leeds side are a champion team because they can withstand this type of onslaught and pressure and then counter-attack effectively.
They trail though 10-0, but they're on the attack now here. And this is Luke Ambler. He impressed on his debut last week. He retains his place in the 17. Diskin to Maguire. Danny Maguire relishes these occasions when he takes on the Bradford Bulls. Diskin gives it to Ryan Bailey. Bailey tried to outmuscle him up the middle. Gets the ball away to Diskin. Diskin then to Burrow. Steps away from Orford. Can't get away from the next man in though. Menzies cuts him down with the tackle. It's Diskin. Diskin to Sinfield. Sinfield with a raking pass wide. And he finds Delaney. But the Bradford defence stand up to him and bring him down on the last. Lee Smith is the dummy half this time. Now it's with Maguire. Maguire dinks it to the in-goal area. That's too deep. And Bradford come away their line intact.
Well, the idea was good, but he was going on his own, when perhaps it may have been better served just to make sure that it went for the post, could ricochet either way. It was something that Brian McLennan, the Rhinos coach, needed. They needed to camp down there.
Reardon plays the ball. Delaney could have been penalised for standing in the ruck, then interfering at the play of the ball.
There's a little bit of a fumble as well, and that was good refereeing by Phil Bentham.
Midway through this first half then, Bradford in the ascendancy, leading by 10 points to 0, the champions in this worst run of form for 4 years, looking desperately to get their season back on track against their closest and biggest rivals in the Engage Super League.
This might get some height on it.
It's Orford, and up it goes, sliced, and Webb again positions himself brilliantly, doesn't he?
What the worry is, though, if there are large spaces between your defenders when Webb catches the ball, it's danger time. Here now there's a penalty going against Bradford.
No, it's a penalty against Leeds for an incorrect play of the ball, I think.
Well, he wanted, I keep mentioning this word panic. Why on earth would you want to try to do that? The rules state and the law states that you have to regain your feet, then place the ball, not the other way around. Brian McLennan may be furious about this, but the official has got it absolutely spot on.
But the rules also do state you must release the man when he's tackled, so I think his counter-argument to you, Mike, would be that the tackle was completed, and is it Menzies doesn't release him, still holding on to his hips?
But even so, he's got enough experience as Brent Webb not to place the ball on the ground like that. Maybe he was trying to milk the penalty, I don't know. But you play safety first. Rushing down there, they're sort of 10 points adrift, and you're saying to yourself, hang on, why on earth are we going at 100 mile an hour when we've had no possession, no field position?
Well, Leeds might dispute the penalty, and Bradford might have got away with it, but it mirrors exactly what he's saying, Phil. They're trying to do everything at just breakneck speed, Leeds. They've got to calm themselves down.
I don't want them to calm down. I love it when we come here and they score length of the field tries, and it's the speed which excites so many of the supporters and so many of the viewers who follow this game. The speed with which Leeds and the other sides want to play the game is what makes it so attractive.
Well, it's 12-0 to the Bradford Bulls. And Bradford supporters won't be complaining about a scoreline like that and the way this game has started. It's a tremendous start to the Easter programme for the Bradford Bulls. And a tremendous start for us on Sky Sports. We've got this today, we've got 2 tomorrow, Hull KR and Hull at lunchtime, followed quickly by Leeds, by St Helens and Wigan. And then on Monday we're off to the south of France to see how the Catalan Dragons and the champions do again. Will that be a day of crisis for Leeds in the south of France? We'll have to wait and see.
A long way to go in this game yet. And I suppose
signs aren't good.
No, they're not good, but Brian McLennan is a shrewd coach. He should be getting that message down. Let's just get that defence solid again. Don't get too excited.
It's Langley here. 23 minutes coming up on the clock.
Oh, that was forward.
Well, the South Stand believed it was, but the referee and touch judge disagree.
Well, it was a delayed pass by Heath Lestrange.
Here is Glenn Hall. He really was the hero with that last-minute try, wasn't he, against Wigan, that won the match after that dramatic second half at Odsal a 3 weeks ago. Sykes with the kick. It's a good kick too, because that will find the ground. Just gives Bradford a second or two more to come up like that.
Oh, he's lost it!
It's picked up by Lestrange.
Oh, what an error by the full-back.
This is Michael Platt. Well, this is Leeds really under the cosh as Lestrange finds Orford, who finds Menzies, who'll go in. It's a third try for the Bradford Bulls. They're taking Leeds apart. A mistake by the fullback, and Leeds are stunned. And Steve Menzies, try last week at Harlequins, a try here in the defeat last June. But that's his third touchdown of the season, and Bradford are in total control of this match.
Certainly hard idea, and you must say that when you lose a football, sorry, it was Ryan Hall that lost it, not Brent Webb. Either way, Bradford, and it's Orford yet again. I mentioned, if Orford's in the mood, boy, you're going to come up trumps. And he certainly is. Beautiful pass, nothing he could do. Menzies, he makes a habit of doing that. He may be the oldest player in Super League, but he's so fit. And he'll be happy with that. And boy, the Bulls fans behind the sticks at this other end, they can't believe it.
You know, every rugby team wants to have their ball player with a number of running options. That's what, of course, Bradford had there, wasn't it? And you're hoping that your ball players, like Matt Orford, can make the right decision. Pass it to the man who has been released because the defenders have committed to other options. And that's now what Bradford are starting to do as we approach the midpoint of this season or so. Their option runners are creating more chances because Orford and Carney and Sykes are having the ball and have a series of plays that they can hit outside them.
16-0, this kick for 18-0. He's missed it. Not saying 18-0 is an unassailable lead, but it would have been very difficult for the Leeds Rhinos to claw back. It still will be at 16.
And there you can see the problem. You can see Senior's moved in. When you've got 3 defenders on 2, one is a dummy runner, and Menzies is never going to be stopped. So close to the line. Boy, he's the oldest and perhaps the most experienced, but he still knows the way to the try line.
Well, Willie Poaching has just raced from the sideline as Kevin Sinfield was about to take that kick. And he's shouted at Ryan Bailey to come off the field. Luke Burgess has replaced him. Sinfield restarts. Underneath it was Halley. And here come the Bradford Bulls again. Glenn Hall plays the ball. Here is Paul Sykes again. Langley was the dummy runner.
Looking to get away with that. Matt Diskin was hanging on for dear life.
This is Andy Lynch.
Now Leeds' defence so far, after 26 minutes, they have yet to stop Bradford getting over the halfway line. In other words, controlling the kick and chase game.
Lestrange again at dummy half for Bradford. Here is Langley.
They've done it this time, for the first time in this first half. Now, kick and chase has to be good.
Hold Leeds. Go 5.
It's with Orford. It's a little dink over the top. It's a perfectly timed run. Carney gets the ball away, and that's away as well to Lynch, foot forward.
Forward pass, but only just. Well, we said we were going to get some good excitement and good rugby league football, and this man, Matt Orford, is producing everything out of the box. His normal half-back partner, he's playing full-back tonight, Brett Carney, and they're all over the shop.
Nice variety, Eddie, there. For 26 minutes, they've kicked the ball deep, haven't they, to Leeds? On that occasion, with the Leeds defenders sitting back expecting the long kick, they just put one over the top.
Here is Luke Burgess. Just a reminder that Crusaders against Harlequins tonight has been postponed. The Knoll at Meath, which is where the game was being played, they decided to take the game to South Wales. It's been hosing down there for apparently the last 2 days, and it's flooded, the Knoll, so the game is off. Has to be rearranged later in the season. Won't be played tomorrow. Badiris is on for Leeds, finds Burrow. Here is Webb. His pass finds Senior. Halley is there and combines to bring Keith Senior down. Jamie Jones Buchanan. Burrow, raking kick out wide. Too deep. Will have to be brought all the way back over this side. Looking for Lee Smith, couldn't find it. Sailed over his head.
Yeah, far too strong. Nothing that Smith could do about that one, but again, it surprised me. We've seen the difference between the two sides already in the kicking game, is that Bradford, they're changing it. Not all just kicking all the time high, sometimes keeping it low. They're confusing everything. But it's in the forwards where you feel that the Bulls are taking control. They really are working overtime.
Godwin, the dummy half there, and he passed the ball infield to his skipper, Andy Lynch. He's grounded 10 metres inside his own half of the field. Godwin again, gives it to Menzies. Tries to skip away from Jones Buchanan. He gets the ball away eventually to Langley. And Godwin, weighing up the options both ways, comes this side and finds Orford, who finds Platt, and he goes down on the 4th tackle. Halley again. Here's Orford. Now infield it goes to Glenn Hall. Trying to spin and does. Gets it away to Carney. They've got men. Oh!
Knock on.
Knock on by Maguire.
It's a good job that Maguire got a fingertip to that.
Well, they had a 4-on-1 overlap wide.
They certainly did, and he took a huge gamble. Okay, it didn't slip back into his body and race away, which would have been a try, that's for sure. But the most important factor, he knew that they didn't have numbers out wide. And again, Bradford attacking out on their left-hand side in attack, Leeds right in defence.
There's been a great balance about Bradford's performance in the first half. A nice mixture, nice variety. Is that scrum play they do, and Nero's through.
Great pass from Menzies on the inside to Nero, and it needed a good tackle that came in from Webb, or to knock on. Well, Webb was lying in the ruck. He was loitering with intent. I think he's got away with this, you know.
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it? It's the fact that he's still hanging on, is released there. But I'm with you, Eddie. Sometimes it states that you're going to... But look at the inside pass.
Shifting the defenders to one side, and then if your timing is right, you're through the gap. It's just about pulled down, but Bradford looked by far the more dangerous save. A great 30 minutes from them.
It has been outstanding half hour. They had a 40-minute purple patch against the Wigan Warriors at Odsal when they came from 20-0 down at half-time to win the game 22-20. But this has been as good as that, if not better, at the home of the champions. As Senior is bundled up in the air and dragged to the side. Shakes his head at the referee. Oh, Jamie Jones Buchanan's gone without it. I'm sorry, but Leeds Rhinos are none of the races.
Yeah, Butterfinger time, I'm afraid. Just could not drag it in.
They're like a
criticise
racing
the
car
pass
that's not going.
You know what, at this level and the detail that both coaching staffs go into, when they analyse that pass again, Eddie, I think that they would probably mark Brent Webb down for it. The service and the quality, the accuracy, it's the little things, the ball being exactly where you need it to be at that level.
If Leeds lose this tonight, of course, there'll be a 4-point gap between them and Bradford. At this, well, we're about a third of the way through the season, aren't we? In fact, we're exactly a third of the way through the season after this. This is the 9th round, and this is great hands from Bradford. It's Nero, he's getting shuttled towards the sideline. There's Carney, here is Glenn Hall. Bradford full of it, absolutely full of it.
Oh, he's got rid of it. That should be a penalty.
It is a penalty. The referee's whistle sounds. He called held.
He said he didn't hear it, but you can see that, well, the ball carrying arm had not hit the deck. Is, you know, Glenn Hall has every right to look at the official and say, well, hang on.
Yeah, but the referee called held, Steve-O. He decided that the tackle was completed.
Well, he shouldn't have, because he hadn't hit the deck. The ball carrying arm had not done that. Now then.
He'd not made he was making no progress forward, was he? He'd been stopped.
They need something special here. Now, we mentioned the fact Maguire and Barrow, they always play well, or seem to play well against Bradford. They've got to really come up with something now. They've got to pose the question.
But look at the way that the game has been played. It's been virtually all in the Leeds half. They're in Bradford's half now with Webb, who fires the pass wide to Ryan Hall. He slips the net of Halley. They're trying desperately to get him down, and they do, courtesy of Michael Platt. Senior, the dummy half, gets it away to Webb. Webb then fires the pass to Sinfield. Now there's blue shirts out wide, there's 4 of them. Maguire out wide to Lee Smith. He's back. Lee Smith is back in Super League, and Leeds might be back in this match. What a way to crown your second debut, with a try in the corner against the arch rivals. The prodigal son has returned. 2 first-team games with Wasps. His Leeds debut 5 years ago this Easter. His last appearance, 2 tries in the grand final, and an important try for the champions here.
Beautiful quick hands, and the pass from Maguire is sensational. Reardon just came in a touch too early. This is the penalty that was given. The referee, Phil Benton, had called hell, and from that position, but watch the pass from Maguire. Bang! Reardon has just drifted in, and as Eddie said, Lee Smith is back, and boy, did the Rhinos need that.
Well, he struggled to make a mark in the other code. but he has certainly made his mark and will continue to make his mark in this game.
Time off.
Well, if Lee Smith is back, is Kevin Sinfield back with the kicking? Difficult conversion attempt for Sinfield, but he's kicked it. Leeds 6, Bradford 16. Willie Poaching shuddering in the ear of the captain, obviously carrying a message from the coach.
There you see Reardon, he's just drifted in a little bit too early and it's gone out wide. Maguire's pass, and it's a great finish. Now then, the referee has just said, well, you can't see it there, but it hasn't hit the deck as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not so sure whether I heard Phil Bentham. Either way,
He did shout hell, there's no question of that.
He
What was impressive,
complaining.
if we take something to forget the referee's decision, Leeds' ability to make a break down the left-hand side. Ryan Hall went close with a great tackle and then transfer the ball across. That's why the champions are so well loved, because when the weather's good, the pitch is firm, they've got the skill and the speed to entertain.
Yes, this pitch at Headingley has been much maligned this year, but there are signs tonight that it's getting back to a little bit of firmness underfoot, and here goes Maratiti. Oh, well, that's a penalty. What on earth did he do that for? He was grounded, he bounced, he got up, and he's given the penalty away to the Bradford Bulls.
Well, it's all happening here, isn't it? I mean, that was a beautiful fend to start with, but Menzies got back on the second, and the player's already tackled.
Actually, was he held or wasn't he held?
I'm not so sure, you know. It's a split-second decision. Either way, well, it's going from bad to worse for Leeds, and then all of a sudden they get the rub of the green.
Back up, Leeds, here.
I don't think he had him.
Come on,
I
fellas.
think this should have been play on.
Go.
Well, that may be a mistake from Phil Bentham. Can Bradford capitalise on it?
Go line. Go,
They're
one.
very close with Godwin to Carney. He flicks it then and gives it to Lynch, who bounces one out of the way. That's a loose pass. But they're lucky they get away with it, Bradford.
Move! Back up, Brett.
Sinfield trying to get out of the way. The ball is played. Here is Godwin. Godwin is halted by Burgess, by Jones Buchanan.
Hold on,
Matt Orford
hold
is
on.
screaming, he's pointing.
Goal, three.
He's trying to confuse the defence.
It's Lynch again. Lynch, oh, he's gone without it.
That's one-on-one.
Yes, it's one-on-one, but he's given a knock-on, and he's given it against Leeds.
Has he dragged it forward? Yes, he has. Just because he's got his back to the opposition, that's still a knock-on.
Here we go, lads.
Well, he's not having much luck, is he, Mr. Lautiti?
Well, this should be fun here now. Can they get the ball to Carney? Sykes linking up with him. Perhaps get on the outside of Delaney.
Hey there, wait.
The ball's in and is out. And here is Sykes. He nearly cut inside Sinfield. Then he gets the pass away instead to Whitehead. Oh, Maguire was just hanging around for a moment then. Delaney to the rescue. Here is Godwin. Huge pressure on this Leeds line. Carney drives it in.
Now, will we see a dummy here from Matt Orford? He's been quite happy just to pull the defence and send a long ball out wide. Will he go on his own?
There is Orford. Fires it wide to Platt. Oh, Hall has missed him. And Platt gets to within a metre.
That's a danger when you come out of the line, and Ryan Hall did that.
Godwin fires the pass to Orford. Changes the direction, cut down by a big tackle from Burgess. Godwin again, attacking the line himself. Takes tackle number 5. Godwin wants to get on with it quickly, plays the ball to Langley. Langley then back to Sykes. Sykes will hoist it wide, 3 against 1 out there. Too long. Poor kick.
Tremendous build-up, though. Sadly, it wasn't the best kick from Paul Sykes.
Hold.
Well, Steve McNamara, he's been a confused coach this year. They've been up and down, haven't they, the Bulls?
Wait, Bradford, wait.
They played some delightful stuff, and then the following week they're just dropping a hole. Well, they're not tonight. They're playing as a unit. The forwards are going strong. They'll be happy with the scoreline. Of course he will. 16-6.
But Leeds looking to get back even closer at half-time as they keep the ball alive. It's with Maguire. He's cut down first by the tackle from Godwin, then by Glenn Hall. Here now is Sinfield. Short ball to Lulawai.
Move!
4 tackles
Wait.
gone.
Go.
Not the best play, the ball then, and the referee thought about blowing the penalty. Again. Went backwards, Ryan Hall gets away with it, but they've lost a bit of momentum, Leeds, because that's the last tackle.
Go.
Here is Rob Burrow, gives it to Ali Lautiti, and Maguire will hoist it, but it's a bit too long, a bit too much ahead of everybody. Carney
Play on.
picks it up out of the air for Bradford.
Play on. Set. 1. He's out.
And he's hurt, I think. He is hurt there, Carney. Took a real collision with Maguire then. Boom.
Stay down, mate.
Well, I think Leeds have been disappointed with the quality of the kick. It was a non-threatening one. Maguire made sure he paid for it. Got the shoulder in there. I think a fair shoulder charge, nothing illegal. It's certainly a painful experience for Brett Carney. And I think Leeds will be happy at it. You know, of the last 10 minutes, they have been the best team. They're behind on the scoreline, but I think they'll go bounce into the dressing room at half-time in a positive frame of mind, confident of the fact that they can get better, they will get better, and they are certainly the stronger team now as we approach the hooter.
And once again, you have to compliment the players of this game. Carney then got a real hit from Danny Maguire, but he managed to hold on to the ball.
Third. Move. And wait.
Burgess is
Go.
told to move by the
Stay
referee. He
off the
does.
move, come on.
Godwin. And now Langley. Less than 15 seconds to
4.
half-time.
Move.
4 tackles
And
gone.
hold. Come round
Bradford.
in. Good. Wait,
Will it be
go
a
forward.
kick and chase? There are 3 men back. Lynch.
5.
That's the last. And they won't have time to take the last tackle. Well, Paul Sykes and the Bradford Bulls, for 25 minutes or so, ran the Leeds Rhinos absolutely ragged. 3 tries they scored, Nero, Halley and Menzies. They were 16-0 up before Leeds had got themselves together. Then Lee Smith's try in his comeback match and Sinfield's goal off the touchline gives us this scoreline of 16-6 to the Bulls at half-time.
Iron Brew sponsors Super League on Sky Sports.